Welcome to Point Blank PR Podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of public relations in Africa. It is brought to you by PR Fusions, a public relations agency aligning strategic communications to drive business growth in Africa. Our mission here is to equip you with the insights, strategies, and stories you need to navigate the ever-evolving PR landscape. So get ready to sharpen your PR skills, gain new perspectives, and stay ahead in the dynamic world of public relations. Join us on this exciting journey as we unlock the power of strategic communication one episode at a time. This is Point Blank PR Podcast, powered by PR Fusions. Let's dive in.
Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Point Blank PR Podcast.
Yep.
It's your girls Blessing and
Satira.
yeah, and we're so excited to welcome you to another episode where we'll be talking about another interesting topic. I mean, you can bank on us. We're your PR girls, we're your favorite PR buddies.
Yeah.
You can be sure that we're going to give it to you as a day hot.
Yes.
As it's hotting.
Please don't mind that.
You can be sure that you're going to get the truth, you're going to get it blunt, you're going to get it unbiased, you're going to most likely get it uncensored. But I mean, where we have to censor, we'll do boom. Okay, so we're here with our fantastic guest. She is a PR consultant and she has been in the industry for how many years? Tell me again.
About 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years. Wow, that's a lot of experience right there. So her name is Abiola Bonola. Abiola Bonola is a technology PR consultant. She runs her agency Abiola Bonola Communications in Lagos, Nigeria. Her work involves helping tech brands tell better human stories that reach and engage their target audiences using proven PR strategies and methods to make huge impact. And over the last couple of years, we have realized that public relations has gone from just dishing out information, from just top to bottom communication, from just brand to audience communication. So it's really important to begin to humanize stories these days. And it's such a delight to have Abiola here. And
Welcome, Abiola.
Thank you.
See how she's smiling. We're here to have Abiola give us insights about brands knowing when to use public relations. How do you know when to use public relations? Yes, you've been hearing us say public relations gives your brand value. It helps your bottom line. But however, you need to understand that not every organization needs PR. There are certain things you need to look out for before you engage a PR agency or before you kickstart PR activities.
Satira, wait, so before you say that and then they think that it is true, every organization actually needs PR.
Yes,
every organization needs PR, from the government organizations to the churches to educational institutions. Everybody actually needs PR. So it's just about knowing the right message to communicate, when to communicate it, but but you definitely need PR at every level of industry or sector, whatever it is. So I just needed to make that clear so that
we're not creating a confusion.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you for that, Blessing. And that's why we have Abiola here to give insight to knowing when exactly you need PR. So Abiola, can you tell us when an organization or an individual should engage a PR agency or start PR activities?
Okay. So a company, a business, an agency, any kind of organization whatsoever needs PR. And the best way they know that they need PR is when they find themselves in the market. So you know that you're entering a market, whatever market it can be, any kind of business environment, and you are wondering that, okay, how do I make myself look good, even though I'm delivering a service or a product? How do I make myself look good? So it's important that the first thing that you need to do is get PR, or at least get a PR consultant as a friend that will just tell you, okay, this is what you need to do, or let me think about your brand, or let me look at what they necessarily have to be an official engagement. It doesn't have to be a very serious engagement at the beginning. Sometimes you just need somebody to just guide you on what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right. Exactly. So that's the first thing you need to do. When you know you need PR is when you're entering any kind of market whatsoever. So the second way you know you need PR is when you believe in PR. A lot of people don't believe in PR. They don't even understand what it is. A lot of people just think it's just sending a press release to maybe the media and then boom, you've done your PR. No, it doesn't work like that. So if you believe that PR can work for you, it can create a positive reputation for you, then that is when you know that you actually need PR.
The truth is, a lot of people don't believe in PR.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people want to be in the media, but they don't believe that they have to spend money on PR.
Because they don't understand it.
Yes, exactly. Which is why we're having this conversation to say you need to know that these are the realities. You need PR from the get-go, from the day that you launch your business. It's not that you have launched it and then you're just freestyling and doing everything else, actually, because a lot of people spend money on advertisements. They spend money on every other thing, without actually working with a communications team or a PR manager or a PR strategist to define the communication, to define the path, to create a communication blueprint. And so they do all of this, most likely even do it on a bad product. Yes. And eventually they fall into a crisis, and then they come to you and say, oh, blessing, so we have a crisis. Or Satira, we have this situation. How do we come out of it? And that's the moment that they realize or they remember that we need a PR person, right? So, it's really important. I just wanted to say this to buttress what you said about
believing in it.
Yes. Right.
So the thing with believing in PR is that even sometimes that I've found people that even when they are in crisis, right, even though they have problems right now, or they even have a bad product and they know that they have a bad product, they won't get a PR manager, because in their mind, what's this person? We can always advertise to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what they usually perceive or they think that they can do.
Right.
But that's why I said you have to believe in it, because sometimes when you even believe in it, if you don't believe in it, even if the PR manager is doing the best work, has resolved your crisis, you're not going to appreciate it, because in your mind, you're like, what is this person? Anybody can do it, and that is why we have so many interesting so-called PR professionals out there right now.
I'm saying because
I'm not going to say anything on this episode. I'm not shaking any tables on this episode.
No, I'm in the mood to shake everything, scatter everywhere.
However, you are so right, Abiola, and blessing, you're right.
Yeah.
However, I feel we are missing, we need to remember that every business, the first thing every business needs to consider is understand your why. Why are you in business?
Good.
First thing.
Yeah.
Before you even start considering public relations, why are you in business? Are you to help a community? Are you coming? Did you start this organization to help a community? Did you start it to make profits? Did you start it to be work on sustainability development? Did you start it to improve infrastructure? Understanding your why makes you understand how, or gives you a bigger picture on how to communicate with your stakeholders, and that is now the responsibility of your comms team or PR agency to help you craft those messages. But if you don't understand the reason why you are in business, you will go and communicate in different ways that might not be
Yeah.
good for your business. You
Yeah,
need
absolutely.
to understand in PR, when public relations, before we say we are having any activities, we need to understand the business goals.
Yes.
So you as a business need to
What are your
understand
objectives? Yeah.
what are your goals? Why are you in business? That is the first one.
Yes.
Then when you understand that, another reason why you should now engage a PR person or have your comms team engage in activities is understanding your target audience.
Yes. Your target audience is
Your
not
stakeholders
everybody.
is
But-
not
but that's the-
everybody.
But that's the funny thing, right? A lot of even big organizations, right? Even when they employ communist teams, I've found that they do not share these, this perception. They don't share the culture necessarily with their comms team so that they understand the reason why the business is even in business in the first place.
That is why many like the PR community, CIPR, NIPR have really advocated that PR should also be within the management
Yes,
team.
it's a management function.
Is a management function because understanding this helps your organization. As Abiola rightly said, a lot of agencies or the comms team do not even understand the business goals.
Yeah.
So they are just being generic with their propositions to the management team. Whereas in the discussion level or direction for the company in the year, the comms director should be there present and saying, okay, you know what, you feel this is the direction the business should go. However, based on our research, based on our customers, the expectations from our customers, this is what they expect from us. Right? If we want to do this, this is what they expect from us. This is what the government also, because PR is not, that's the wrong thing, okay, let me shake tables. PR is not only about media relations, right?
Of course not.
So there's the government relations. There is that
Stakeholders.
stakeholder conversation.
Yeah.
Even with the financial institutions of your financial stakeholders, all those things, that is why it's very important for an organization to understand the role we play. That way you now realize that, you know what, I think I need a comms team because they would direct me on how to go.
A lot of people have said that the comms team should always be just very close to the CEO, and they should always talk to the CEO at every point in time, from the beginning of the conversation of even starting the business to when the business is running and till when it becomes successful. That is and that was why in the beginning I said that when anybody is even going into the market in the first place, you just need somebody, even if it's not a profession, if it's not an official engagement, the person is guiding you step by step on what you're doing in terms of communications.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also important that when you launch a business, you have to be clear on what your brand identity is, because that is the way to communicate what your business stands for. I mean, once you're not clear on that, it's hard for you to even communicate to your employees, to your stakeholders, let alone the external publics that are maybe not even directly involved in your business. Every other person that knows something about your brand or hears about your brand, it becomes harder to communicate to them. So it's important that in yourself, you're clear. And only when you're clear should you actually go on to have a conversation with a PR person. Because, have you come across clients and you're like, I'm not sure that you actually understand what your business is about.
Yes.
Let alone try to explain it to me.
Yeah.
And then when you try to explain it to me as a PR consultant, I can't wrap my head around it. And the
Because it
moment
doesn't
I
make
can't wrap my head
sense.
around it, I can't communicate it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Right? So it's important that you are certain, you're clear. And a lot of people want to just launch business, run with it, start making profit and everything. And I think it's important that people pay attention to their processes. If you need to work with a business mentor, by all means. If you need to get some more education on what you're doing, by all means. If you need to wait it out, do what you have to do. there's no need starting a business today and saying, okay, you know what, I'm going live with the business without clearly understanding what it is. Once you don't understand what you're doing, it makes our lives hard as professionals. And the moment that working with you starts making our lives hard, honestly, we will just back out.
Aside from backing out, there's little we can do for you, and you now make yourself susceptible to, like, you make yourself prone to
Many crises. Yeah.
right? It's like, as Blessing said, many people are in business, they don't even know what their business
Is about.
should offer, right? Aside from knowing what your business should offer, how are people looking at your business?
Exactly.
What products are you offering? How is your product to your customers or to the people you say you deliver value to?
Yeah.
Right? How do they see your product? If you don't understand this, how do you expect us as communications professionals to
Disseminate the
disseminate
message.
that message?
It's not gonna work.
You need to get to your stakeholders, right?
Right.
You're a company, you are doing a lot of marketing engagements and all that. You're
Spending money on
advertising,
digital marketing.
but your product is bad.
Yes, your product
There
is
are
bad.
cases like that.
Yeah.
Your product is bad,
Yeah.
or your customer service
Professionals,
reps are making you look bad, right? All those things need to be considered before you start saying, "Oh, I want to do publicity, or I want to engage a comms team, or a PR agency, or we need to start PR activities
Yeah.
and everything." And remember, as I said, public relations is a management function, or
Yeah.
can be a management function, because that way, as communications team, the first thing we always do is research. So we understand your external environment and also the internal. We're like
yes.
middlemen
Yeah.
between you and the people you want to reach out to. Your stakeholders are also your employees.
Yeah.
If your employees are not satisfied, there's also a problem with your organization.
Yeah.
So as communications professionals, there is that interface with maybe the HR department and saying, you know what, how are the employees, how do they feel about this company?
Which is very important.
So all these little details are what you need to take into consideration before you begin any PR activity, or before you want to engage in public relations.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of people, especially tech startups, right? You know, they are usually new businesses. So a lot of tech startups, they feel that they only need public relations when
They want to announce funding.
no, not even announce funding, when they're looking for money.
Yes, they want to raise funds.
That's why they'll tell you,
yes.
we are looking for investors to invest in our new startup. So that is why we're engaging you.
Yes.
And you're like, you mean I have to start going back to start on, doing my research about your company? You know, I have to even know whether your product is even good enough for me to
For
even
investors
engage
to see.
No, for me as a consultant to
Engage me.
because I don't want.
Let alone sell it to investors.
I'm also looking at my reputation here.
Yes,
I'm also
very important.
PRing myself, even though, I'm also working as a consultant.
Yes.
So there are some things that I have to consider first before I take on a new business.
Yes.
So they will then tell you that, okay, that we are expecting to start our pre-seed or whatever seed funding, and then in the next, they'll give you a timeline. They'll tell you that, okay,
We're looking to launch between the next 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3
Most
months.
6 months.
Which most times it's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
And then they put so much pressure on you, and then you're wondering, how do I even help these people from the start? Because number one, you look at their company profile, or you look at their
problem.
and
Even their logo
they don't
is
even
a
understand.
problem.
Their logo is a problem. Their website, because a lot of them have websites,
Yes.
is a problem. You can't
Color,
even
the
understand what
problem.
they are saying that they are.
Yeah.
And then when they explain to you who they are, you still don't understand it. So how do you
So the thing is, so at the point that you get to these businesses to say, see, you have just launched, or you're just started operations.
Exactly.
I think that we can work together. We can help you with building your communications
From the scratch.
so that
Exactly.
when it's time for you to get funding or to start pitching for funding, it makes things easier for you.
And even when
But
we're no
they're
longer
not
working with
interested.
you, so that even when we're no longer working with you,
We're still looking out for you.
and we're no longer your comms consultant, your company is still running well because you already have a good background.
Yes.
And then you're just moving forward, and you're like, yes, we got this right.
But no, they won't do that.
I think aside
they
from
would rather
that,
just wait.
they don't even consider they should have a comms department,
Most of the time.
Yes.
Most of the time.
which is actually very wrong.
They
Yeah.
just want digital marketers. They just want growth marketers.
And they just want awareness.
And they just want awareness that they're not even prepared to handle.
Exactly. Because sometimes when we as consultants even get them the awareness, it's kind of backfires because number one, that's when they now realize that, oh, their website is not working well, or their app is not working well, or, it has crashed. There was something that happened on a reality TV show that is popular in Nigeria. And then there was a code that kept moving up and down, up and down. And they were feeling cool. We did a good ad, right? And then that very same day, their app crashed. Because they were not ready to take
handle-
it on.
yes.
And mind you, an international company had done a similar thing, by the way.
Yes.
An international American company had done a similar thing. And that happened to them. So, as in, their app also crashed. So why didn't they prepare themselves as a Nigerian company that is also doing the same thing? If you know you want to copy somebody, at least you do
prepare
it
yourself.
well.
I mean,
You do
it's
it
important that
better.
you're able to even understand the challenges that the person you're copying faced.
Exactly.
And know how to plug the gaps.
And then they crashed, and the users started complaining that this is what happened. This is what you guys are not even serious. That was the perception that the users had. So
I
don't want to mention the name of the brand.
No, you
They
can't.
don't-
we don't.
We're not here for that.
We're not here to castigate any brand.
Yeah.
Nobody is perfect, right?
Yeah.
We are growing in this, and that's why we're having this podcast. However, we need to understand that before you start any business, you need to be patient. Take your time. There are business coaches
Yeah.
that would
Yes.
guide you into doing certain things, into putting certain things in consideration. I'm not a tech expert, but my little knowledge of tech, there are stages.
Exactly.
There's the alpha stage, there's the beta stage, there's another stage before the launch, right? Yes. All those stages, and those stages take time.
Of course.
An alpha stage can take more than 1-2 years
Yeah.
to perfect before you get to the beta stage, right? And
Right.
before you now get to the launch stage. If you don't perfect all those things, you can't now publicly go to your market because your product has to be market ready.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know why I was laughing? Because everybody thinks that there is funding in tech. There's money in tech. You just need to bring in tech. Just bring in technology to what you're doing, and you're flying. So that's what everybody. I mean, well, maybe everybody's generalizing, but a lot of people think that once they have this app, once they launch an app, once it goes on Play Store or Apple Store or wherever, once they're able to bring in this tech, that solves all the problems in the world, and
Exactly.
automatically they are open to funding and this and that.
Meanwhile, there have been businesses that have been getting funding as well. They are not necessarily tech. They are not even tech at all. And they get their funding. They go through the necessary process of building from scratch.
Yes.
And they are successful because they took their time to
understand
develop
the business
and grow.
first, and then
Do you understand?
adopt tech for it.
But you see this, our industry of tech, everybody's in a
I
hurry.
think that's why if please let's not get this wrong. We're not
Yeah.
just talking about only tech, but why we're having this conversation is over time, especially this year, a lot of tech brands have had a lot of unnecessary crisis that would have been prevented if they took their communication strategy
from the scratch.
seriously from the initial stage.
It reminds me of a tech brand that I worked with. And this brand had a fantastic service. Fantastic. Like, no, not service. Fantastic product. But you see, the service, the delivery it was a product, but it was a service product, a service-based product.
Yeah.
You see, the delivery of the service to ensure that people were getting value was just wrong. And so almost every 2 weeks, there was one crisis or another. And the crises were as bad as social media call-outs, were as bad as emails, were as bad as people actually visiting the office to say, you know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And the major thing was, you have not fixed the problem, right? But you want to be everywhere. You want to get more customers. You want to get more international funding. You want to get investor interest and you want to get all of these things, but your brand is not even ready. Your product is not even ready. You haven't done your work in-house to ensure that when all of these things that you want start coming, you're ready to handle it. And so it's a major challenge, right? And it's important that people know for the 1 millionth time that your brand, your product, your service has to be in order before you say, I'm ready to take on this PR thing. I'm ready to execute and I'm ready to run with it.
Yeah, I think lastly would be have a budget.
Yes.
Hey.
So
Hey.
let's not-
Consider
see,
having
you see,
a
that's the
budget.
pain point. That's a serious pain point because a lot of them will say, "Oh, we don't have much money, oh."
But you want awareness.
But you want awareness, you want positive perception, you want positioning, and you're like, but you don't have money now.
Have you heard we are just a startup.
So that happens a lot, and I believe that all startups need to understand, or all new businesses, in fact, all companies, even the big ones,
Even
need to
individuals.
understand
Yes.
that good public relations requires a good budget.
Yes.
So that how will I put it? So that it is effective and so that it runs well. And then not just a good budget. I wanted to say this, but you see, public relations is not something that you just do in a month and forget about it.
Yes, please.
You have to do it for like a long period of time, at
Yes.
least a year. I always tell people that you need to do something for a year before
year
you can
to
see
get
the results.
value.
And you can start saying, okay, this is actually working for me. So if you perhaps you're a new business and you then start, you have a consultant just guiding you along for the meantime, and then you start growing and you start growing. When you now decide that, okay, we have enough money, we have enough budget to engage the services of a full-time, maybe an agency or a consultant, then you need to also understand that you're not just going to get them just any budget.
Yes.
Because sometimes some people would say, oh, let's just give them a mega budget because it's public relations now. What are they even doing? It's not press release.
It's not to
is
win
it not?
the media.
Is it not just
And media
to do it
is
in
free
media?
now.
Shabi is influencer. We'll get influencer. What's that? Meanwhile, the full process of public relations, meaning engaging the stakeholders, engaging the governments, engaging investors, partnerships, all the things that comes into public relations requires a good budget so that the public relations agency or consultant, they are comfortable, they do the work with passion. And no, it's true, they do it with passion.
Very
Will you not be
important.
passionate?
When you have the right
when you have the right budget.
When the remuneration is right.
Yes.
When you are
you
fairly
do it
compensated
for the
well.
value you give.
Yes,
because
yes.
you actually give
so
value.
we are beyond. I
Yes.
mean, beyond just wanting to get paid. We actually give value.
give
Exactly.
And we want to be sure that we are motivated enough to give the right value to people every time.
Yeah. So that's just it. You need to have time for public relations. You need to have budget for public relations. You need
Yeah,
to
time
start
is
your
very
public
important.
relations from the start. Like,
Yes.
you don't just start a business without having at least somebody, maybe a consultant, whatever, around you to guide you on your comms from the beginning.
Yes.
And then what was the other one that we
If your
talked about?
product is bad,
If your product
don't
is
even
bad,
bother.
don't even bother to even get
Don't
a
bother.
public. You need
And
to
if
get
you
your
want
product
to
right.
if you want to even work with a public relations consultant
Yes.
in that moment. Don't work on creating awareness.
Yes.
Work on fixing the problem with the product.
Yes,
That
and
is it.
and probably you don't just get a public relations professional when you're looking for investors, or you're looking for government to like you, or you're looking for funding, or sorry, that also is investors, or you're looking for partnerships. Maybe you want specific kind of brands to work with you so that you can look good. No, that's not when you get a public relations consultant. You need to start
From
right
day
from that's our preaching for today.
Aside
sermon.
from that, for established brands,
Yeah.
your comms team, head of communications, should be in the decision-making processes.
Very
Throughout.
Very
Throughout.
important. Like,
Honestly.
when you are having strategic meetings with your board members, your comms director should be part of the decision-making process, because their team, their departments are in charge of making your messaging good to your stakeholders. They understand your stakeholders better than you do. So they need to be there. They need to be aware. They need to have an input in your decision making. And this is very lacking with many established organizations.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Because everybody feels like, oh, we know what we want to do. We are only just going to reach out to you when we think that we need to reach out to you. As public relations professionals, we kind of have a bird's eye view, right? We're the good guys and we're the bad guys at the same time.
At the same time.
We're
all the
sitting
time.
down with you and we're telling you, this is not going to work. This is a byproduct. Okay, this is right. How can we improve on this one? How can we make this better?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to be in the room with the devil's advocate. They just want to get...
Nobody likes the messenger now. Nobody likes it.
But sometimes you really need the messenger so that your
Yeah.
messages come out right. And yes, it's important that we have this together. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Abiola, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for having this great conversation with us.
You're welcome.
We have ranted and bantered and
I still have a lot of rants in me
Don't worry.
because I'm working with new
after
businesses.
not today. Not today.
I'm working with these new businesses, so it's mind-boggling. You're like, hey,
Yes,
how do I even go about this
I
crazy,
know.
this crazy situation?
Yeah,
So,
even as established organizations, there comes team usually like, I wish our CEO would just listen to us.
Yes.
We've done our research.
Yes.
We know this is what the customers
We have
want.
every single thing. We have all the details,
but
all the
they have
data.
management has already made their decision without
Yeah.
us. They only see us. I feel some organizations only see their comms departments as valuable when they want to launch a product,
When it's time to
or when they
execute.
or when they want to launch a campaign,
Yeah.
or deal with the media, or when there's a crisis. That's when you now remember that you have a comms department.
The fire brigade department.
So I hope this episode would educate us more and make us understand that your comms department should be in the process from the beginning. Right?
Yeah.
From the beginning of, like, the way you see your lawyers should be the way you
see-
same
yes,
way
yes, the
you
same
see
energy.
your communication.
By the way, the
department.
lawyers also complain about the same thing. No, let's just they complain about
This
the
is
same.
not their podcast. We're not speaking on behalf of the lawyers, no, please. Because even lawyers need PR people.
Yes.
Yes,
Well.
everybody does.
Well.
I want to talk about this budget thing.
Not today. Another
Money-
episode.
See, you guys,
Money is
wait.
important, please.
Because money is important, right? I mean, I've had clients say, but it's PR now. Why should I be paying for coverage? And in those moments, I'm stunned because you need to pay. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just you can't get all these things, everything for free, right? And like you mentioned, it's important that they have these budgets to sustain the PR efforts.
Yeah.
And you're not just except it's a one-off event. It's just
Once in a while.
One of maybe you're doing, we want to just launch and just launch, just announce, that's it, and then let's go on from there.
Exactly.
But it's important that you see PR as an investment.
It is an investment.
Because it is an investment. It's an investment that doesn't even that begins to yield results almost immediately, as immediately as the next week or the next month, and it can even still yield results up to the next 10 years. And so it's important that people begin to see that as much as they invest in advertising, which is great, by the way, it's also important to invest in public relations, because public relations does not particularly sell your product. It takes storytelling, uses stories to build
perception,
credibility for your brand. It
helps your perception in the public with your stakeholders,
Yeah.
right? Helps you build strategic relationships and everything. Aside from even paying for certain things, our time is valuable.
Yes.
There's so much time we take in doing our research, because we can't even bring out an impactful campaign or strategy if we did not do our research.
Yes.
Those times spent having to monitor I can tell you for free, many public relations people or consultants hardly sleep.
Yes.
We don't
our
sleep.
job is round the clock.
I am awake every time at night.
Many of us, I can tell you for free that even your comms department, many of them, they sleep. I don't know. There's the Nigerian song "Sleeping Open Eyes." That is how we are and it's not our fault. It's because of the nature of we love it, by the way, but what we are trying to advocate is value.
Yeah.
If you place us as you value your doctor, that's why if an hospital tells you to pay a certain amount, nobody prizes the hospital or nobody prizes the lawyer.
Yeah.
You can try, but nothing. So if you place value on our service, place value on the things we give you, on the service we render, then you would understand that our compensation should be valuable too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's where we should.
Yes.
I like the way you even talked about this doctor. Sorry, let me just quickly say, like, PR people are literally the doctors for any business or company or organization or brand. That's just where I wanted to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's where we wrap up this conversation on that note. Please,
I want to talk about money.
Just be ready. We're coming with our stethoscopes. Thank you so much, Abiola. So it's time for the rapid fire questions. Question 1. What is your hidden talent?
Hell. My hidden talent. Hey, you people did not tell me that this is what I was
we're not
going
supposed to
do. Okay. My hidden talent is I like to sing in the bathroom. My voice is nice only in the bathroom, so I feel that's the talent.
You like to sing or you like to dance? Abiola can dance on TikTok.
I don't mean to embarrass myself like that, you know, but sometimes you just need to shake it off and relax and take off all the stress of this our job.
Very important. Very decompress.
Yeah.
So if you were to write a book, what would it be about?
How I continue to collect breakfast every day.
I was about to say, Abiola is going to write a book on broken hearts.
Wow.
Because Abiola has been heartbroken too many times.
Oh,
We're looking for a
God.
boyfriend for Abiola.
Oh, my life.
Boyfriend that has money, please apply within.
Thank you, Abiola.
Thank you very much. Woo!
And that wraps up another insightful episode of Point Blank PR Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our conversation today and gained valuable knowledge that will elevate your PR game. To stay connected with us, follow Point Blank PR Podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Point Blank PR Pod. There, you'll find behind-the-scenes content, episode updates, and more. Can't get enough of our podcast? Don't worry. You can catch up on all our latest episodes and explore additional resources at www.prfusions.com/podcast. Have a question, comment, or topic suggestion? We'd love to hear from you. Drop us an email at podcast@prfusions.com. Your feedback and ideas help us shape the future of Point Blank PR podcast. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our community. Until next time, keep innovating, communicating, and making an impact with your strategic PR efforts. This is Point Blank PR podcast, brought to you by PR Fusions.